crafters, it's Chris from Crafts with Chris, and don't you just love today's card? If you are new here to my channel, please consider subscribing. I do offer free crafting tutorials, mostly using Stampin' Up products, and I would love for you to hit that red subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that bell so you do receive notifications of my most current videos. So let's go ahead and get started on that card. So the first thing you're going to need is a piece of crumb cake. This is cut 5 1/4 by 4, and you're going to go ahead and use the Coastal Weave embossing folder, and you're just going to go ahead and run that right through your die cutting machine. So once you have this run through your folder, we're just going to set this aside. We're going to use some ink on this in a little bit, but you're going to want to bring in a piece of very vanilla. This is what we're going to do our stamping on. This is cut 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. The stamp set today I'm using is Rise and Shine. This is a free set through the end of March, which you have a little less than 2 weeks to get this set. This is free with a $100 purchase, and I'll leave all that information in the link of the video. This is a reversible stamp set. I have some sentiments and some things here that are not reversible. This portion of the stamp set is actually reversible. So we're going to go ahead and stamp with this cup, and I'll show you what I mean by reversible. The ink pads we're using today will be Pool Party, Blueberry Bushel, and Smoky Slate. So because this is photopolymer and I want a good crisp clear image of my cup, I did bring in a foam mat to put underneath for my stamping. So I'm using Pool Party right now, and I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamp. And I'm going to take my coffee cup, I'm going to stamp it right towards the bottom. I'm going to put it at a little bit of an angle, and my handle is going to be close to the edge. I'm going to bring in my simple chamois, and I'm just going to clean off that side of the stamp so we can flip it around. And you're just going to take your stamp, and I'm going to lay it down, and then I'm just going to pick it up. And now your handle is going to be on the opposite side. So we're going to do exactly what we did. We're just going to ink this up, and we're going to stamp this down. The handle is close to the edge, and the bottom of our mug is close to the bottom. Now we're going to use Blueberry Bushel ink, and in this stamp set there is this circle right here. So we're going to ink that up with our Blueberry Bushel, and you can see that it goes right around your cup. So you're just going to want to go ahead and stamp that down on each of the cups right on the outside of that circle. I'm going to take Rise and Shine and Coffee. You could do tea if you wanted. And Rise and Shine is going to go on one mug, and Coffee is going to go on the other mug. And again, I'm using the Blueberry Bushel ink. So in this stamp set, there is some steam right here. So we're going to take that. We're going to use Smoky Slate. And what you're going to want to do is stamp this off your paper once, and then stamp it right above your coffee cups. We're all done stamping on this for now. I'm leaving my foam mat here, and I'm bringing in a piece of Designer Series paper. This is from the Pleased as Punch Designer Series paper. This paper is very, very pretty. Lots of spring-like patterns in here. So this is the paper that I'm using today, all the stripes here. And you're just going to cut a couple of the stripes like I have here. You're just going to need 2 of the stripes to do your stamping on here. So you can choose whichever colors you want to pick out of here. It doesn't need to be the whole strip, just a little section here. In this stamp set, there is this Make Today Amazing, and that's what we're going to stamp on our strip of paper. Again, use whichever colors you want. So I'm using the Smoky Slate, and I'm just going to stamp it to the edge of my paper. And you see how nicely that lines right up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this other strip out. So I'm just going to take my paper trimmer and just trim those 2. So there's only the 2 strips in there, and we got rid of that little strip. I'll save this for something for later. I'm sure I'll use it. And then I'm just going to cut this right at the end. You can take your scissors and do the same thing. Set this aside. And the last thing we're going to do using our ink, we're using Smoky Slate. Bring back in that piece of crumb cake that we ran through our coastal weave folder. You're going to take your ink pad and we're just going to run it over the top. And I'm going to cover the whole thing, so you can go as light or dark with it as you want. I just love how it brings out the texture when you do this. We're just going to start to assemble all our parts. You will need for your card base pool party. This, of course, is A2 size, so it's 8.5 by 5.5, fold at 4 1/4. I'm just going to start by gluing our coastal weave on top of here, and I do have some snail adhesive on here already. So you just want to go ahead and glue that flat down on your card base. And we're going to bring in our Very Vanilla that we stamped on, and it's the same thing. We're going to center this like that. So with this one here, we're going to use some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. I already have them on the back, and we're going to place that just over the top of our coffee here. And with this, I don't know if you guys noticed, but on the back side of this striped paper, there are these little flowers. Small bloom punch that is actually free right now lines up nicely with these flowers, so you can also use this paper to cut out these flowers with this. One here is free again right now through Sale-A-Bration, so less than 2 weeks to get this, and I'm going to leave all the information in the link of the video. Finish this off. I'm just using the rhinestones. I'm just taking a small little rhinestone here with my Take-A-Pick tool. Just going to put it right there just to give it that little bit of bling. Of course, don't forget to include your piece of Whisper White or Very Vanilla. This is cut 5 1/4 by 4 just to finish off the inside of your card. And that's it. I love how easy this card is. I just love that stamp set. It's such a neat little stamp set to get. And again, it's free. So I'll leave all that information in the link of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's card. And I hope you guys are all staying safe, staying in, and staying well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I also would love to hear from you guys in the comments. And don't forget to share this video with your family and friends so they can make this too.